For many Australians, radio is a part of daily life. It is an important form of communication as it serves to entertain, inform and educate. We sat down with newsreader Joel Labi from 2GB Radio to find out more.
I started doing work experience in June '06. That was only supposed to be a week, but I made some pretty good connections here very, very quickly. Yeah. That week turned into a couple of months.
How did you get involved in radio?
I started doing the journalism course at UTS and graduating this year, but I was lucky enough to have the job about 6 months into the first year. So during that, I actually had work complementing what I was doing at uni, so it was a very effective way of learning.
And how do you think radio as a communication form differs from that of television or film?
It's the number one communication tool because it's 24 hours, it's always happening, especially with talkback. Things are always developing with radio, whereas with TV you've got to wait till the 4:30 or 6 o'clock news, and in print you've got to wait till the next day. But people always switch onto the radio. They'll always have it in the background, and they'll have it in the car, whatever, it's part of their life. So to have that as a communication tool, you're effectively talking to people 24 hours a day, and that's their first stop to get their information as well.
Given that you broadcast live on air, do you ever make any mistakes, and is it more stressful that it is live?
It's live, like there's no second chance with that. You screw up, that's it. Yeah, the live factor, it can work to your benefit though. If there's a huge story breaking, that immediacy, you know, when you hear, oh, we're just getting news to hand about something, that is what is the biggest advantage of live radio, and that's probably the most fun working in it as well, because you know that this is happening second by second, and people are literally tuning in for this and they're hanging on your every word, and that's the thrill of live radio as well. I believe you are a Liberal supporter, and given that there is a Labor government in power at the moment, do you kind of have any biases when you have to report on Kevin Rudd? And well, I'm gonna stare down the barrel of the camera right here and say, yes, I am a Liberal supporter. To all those uni students that might be watching this, I am a Liberal supporter, but I don't let that affect my news judgment, because at the end of the day, it is incredibly important that you present the facts, especially in things like announcements. There are times where, yes, you can skew the story a little bit as more of a criticism, but if you listen carefully and if you actually pay attention and take yourself out of the story and think, right, this media is biased towards the Labor government or biased towards the Liberal government, you'll notice that they're often just representing the views of somebody that they have interviewed.
And obviously you can't be afraid to approach people and put yourself out there.
Well, you shouldn't be a journalist if you're not able to approach people. The whole point of being a journalist is to take an interest in somebody else's life and actually want to tell their story.
Joel, how do you get your news stories?
When I come in the morning, we've got 3 newspapers that we go through first of all. There's the Telegraph, the Herald and the Australian, and we read all of them. We write up the stories that we believe are going to be the most interesting and carry over, because there are plenty of stories that are based for the newspaper medium. They can't be converted into radio because they're just too long and convoluted to explain.
What would you say the worst thing about your job is?
Well, best part is definitely the fact that you get to see history unfold before your eyes. Even if it's a really, really small story, that's still happening, it's still going to be reported on, and you've seen that happen. But worst part of the job, definitely the hours. Having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning is not pleasant, and I'm sure that most of the people that are watching this right now probably haven't even heard of 4 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark, and it's not fun.
Are you happy working in radio, or do you eventually sort of want to branch out and move on to other media forms?
I love what I'm doing. I love radio. I've always wanted to work in radio, and I've always wanted to work at this station. So to get this job first up without having to go to the country or anything like that is a dream come true. I want to be a broadcaster one day. Love news reading, but it's very, very restrictive. I want to be able to talk and give an opinion rather than just present the news as well, because I'm so immersed in it. You can't help but talk about it off air, and that's what I love doing. And I love debating with people. I love arguing with people. And radio is the best form to do that. You can't do that with TV, and it's very, very difficult to do it with print. So if you want a really expansive form of media to get into, radio is the best by far. Macquarie National News at 7:30. Mostly fine today, tops between 27 and 30. Good morning, I'm Joel Labi.
when people say you have a face for radio, do you guys get really insulted by that?
No, because you know what, the joke's getting old after a while. You just, yeah, all right, give it to me.